While a comedic clip, this frustrating exchange is in fact a reality for many First Nations people when dealing with treaty violations. We see broken promises that lead to confrontations which are met with outright denial and a lack of responsibility. We are in an age of reconciliation. In fact, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada was officially established on June 2, 2008 and completed in December 2015. 2015? That's 16 months ago. If there was ever a time to take interest, it's now. We're in the center of something big. Yes, a big change is upon us, and this change is necessary if we're to keep our government accountable for allowing these violations. Even in contemporary times, violations are taking place in North America, impacting the lives of many First Nations communities. For example, the Barriere Lake community. What is it? 3 hours north of Ottawa, Barriere Lake is a host to a large community of Algonquin people who, in 1991, signed a treaty with the Canadian government known as the Trilateral Agreement. What's the treaty? The Trilateral Agreement allowed for the Algonquins of Barriere Lake to have co-management rights in regards to their lands and a percentage of the profits made from businesses conducted there. What was the violation? Despite the agreement, the Algonquins of Barriere Lake are constantly undermined. Logging and mining operations are conducted without their say. This threatens their way of life, which is directly connected to their lands through traditional medicine, harvesting, craft making, trapping, fishing, and more. The people of Barriere Lake fear that unwanted business will one day threaten their livelihoods, such as with the Site C flooding in British Columbia. Site C flooding. What is it? Well, Site C refers to the construction of a dam in Peace River, BC, on land used and honored by the First Nations communities, whose ancestors signed Treaty 8 with the Canadian government in 1899. What's the treaty? Treaty 8 solidified the right for First Nations people to live their lives off of the land with respect and honor towards it as they always had. What was the violation? The construction of the dam will flood over 50 square kilometers, much of which is used for fishing, hunting, and sacred burials. First Nations people have protested the construction of this dam, and they were not alone. 200 scientists protested as well, declaring that the project went against reconciliation, protection of the environment, and evidence-based decision-making. The government responded by stating that they had no intention of rethinking this endeavor. Turning a blind eye towards the pleas of First Nations people is not a rare occurrence, as we have also witnessed in North Dakota regarding their pipeline. The North Dakota pipeline. What is it? It's a pipeline being built to carry crude oil across the United States from North Dakota to Illinois, crossing the Standing Rock Sioux Nation community, the ancestors of which had signed the Treaty of Fort Laramie on April 29, 1868, with the United States government. What's the treaty? At the time, the treaty declared that the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation would be set apart for the absolute and undisturbed use and occupation of the Sioux Nation. On this treaty, the United States solemnly agreed that no persons would ever be permitted to pass over, settle upon, or reside in the territory. What was the violation? The Sioux of Standing Rock have not been left undisturbed. The pipe is being built, the combined will of 300 tribes are being ignored, and the voice of many protesters fall on deaf ears. No doubt the people of Standing Rock fight to avoid the fates of those before them who have suffered in the wake of progress, such as the people of Barriere Lake, Peace River, and others. What can we do, and why? Write letters, join protests, donate to the cause, but most importantly, we must remember that it is our duty as educators to raise the future leaders of society to honor their word, to keep their promises and those of old. We must set a proper example. We must not falter, for if we do, so shall they.
Created using Powtoon.